You got some options.
Could they trick me? They could trick me. It is possible to be tricked. I will give NYCFC this credit. In New York right now, for like advertisements, stuff that's in subways and posters and stuff like that, you will almost never see a New York Red Bulls ad like anywhere. But NYCFC ads are everywhere. They're in the subways. They're on phone booths, which no one even uses. Like they're everywhere. And I at least give them credit to they're trying to earn the city. And I feel like the New York Red Bulls, for whatever reason, and I'm sure they have plenty of reasons, mostly because it would cost a fortune, but they're not making nearly as an aggressive push for the city itself.
Look, Red Bull can drop a man off the freaking moon onto Earth. How could they not? They can't advertise. They can't advertise a soccer team in New York City.
They got different priorities over there in Austria, like not everything's at the top of the list. I will say this though, Red Bull Arena as a facility, beautiful. It's a phenomenal. If you haven't been, find an excuse to go. It's a phenomenal stadium. My criticism, the same as you've probably heard 100,000 times. If you live in the city itself, it's pretty difficult to get there. Like I live in Brooklyn, and to get to Red Bull Arena, I have to take 2, 3, sometimes 4 different trains to make it to New Jersey. We're talking about a commitment like hour and a half. 2 different train systems. You're going on obviously the subway here in New York, and then you have to go on the PATH train in New Jersey. Not that anyone really cares all this much about it, but the station that's by Red Bull Arena is totally undersized, and it's going to be renovated, but that's still like 2 years away. So it's kind of this whole transportation nightmare just to get there and to get back. And even though on paper it's like, it's not that much time, you sort of internalize that, like, do I really want to do all of this to see them play Chivas? Like, do I really want to do that? And people will say no.
Come back afterwards. That's probably half of the battle, too. You're like, once I watch the match, then I have to do it all over again with nothing at the end of it.
Exactly. You have to do it all the way back, and it's a big commitment. It's a big commitment. I've gone, obviously, and I'll go again, and I may even be at the match this weekend against the Timbers. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to try to go. It's part of this sequel video. I'm trying to do something. But it's going to be a commitment because not that, again, I don't know how many of you guys are super familiar with the complexities of public transportation in New York, but the train that would run to Red Bull Arena doesn't run on the weekends for the entirety of 2014. So it's like it's a pain to get out there.
Wow.
If you live in New York. If you live in New Jersey, it might be easier to get there.
Yeah. I've been in New York City. I really love New York City.
If MLS were to give you a job this week, you would probably still be hard-pressed to get out there? Is that what you're telling me?
Oh,
if they got a job, just head out to
I'd
the
be there.
Like,
Not even
think about it.
And if the New York Red Bulls want to hire me, no complaints. None. 0.
You're right in the right area for MLS, too. They're like... Maybe that's they're not like gonna email you back. They're just gonna come like knock on your door and be like, "Yo, what up?" And then
It's whatever.
Hey, that's not a problem. They can knock on my door. Not right now. It's 11:30 in the evening, but at a more reasonable hour, they can knock on my door.
You are part of one of the latest episodes of this we've ever recorded. So congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be a part of such a historic moment.
It's I'd put it up there with the moon landing at least. The Red Bull.
I mean, we are definitely like top 10 most influential podcasts in the country, I would think.
Yeah, right up there with the BS Report and that one that has Anderson Cooper in it.
We also mostly brought you on just to agree with us talking a big game about ourselves. So if you could just...
Hey, I'm a team player.
I'm
on board.
So, Jeff, I've got an important question for you. You posted all this stuff under accounts that were clearly created for this purpose. So you don't necessarily have to give it out, but are you hanging out in /MLS under a different username most of the time?
I am not, and I wish I was that clever. I really do. I wish I was lurking under a different name or had some other scheme that I was working. But no, I don't have another username for /MLS. I should have. This was a better plan. I should have done that. We should have spoken before.
You're welcome.
What happened? I'm going to do that.
Well, I mean, this episode is going to take a couple days for this episode to come out, so you still have time,
That's true. That's true. I can make some false identities. I've already created weird email addresses. I don't see why I can't go further.
Now, I remember I was looking through some of your other videos there on YouTube, and this seems to be a little more successful than your bid to become a manager in the Premier League.
This is slightly more successful.
I'm feeling a little more goodwill your way on this one.
No, I appreciate that. This one also is a little more realistic of a goal.
Yes.
So, I mean, no, I'm not gonna. That's low hanging fruit. Just kidding.
Come on.
No, go for it.
Come on, dude.
I was just gonna say, they're saying you wouldn't be a better manager than David Moyes.
I mean, I can be just as disappointing, is my thought. But I would be like
while
half
making
the price.
millions of dollars to do it.
I'm willing to do it for half of whatever they paid him, and that, you're already saving so much money. It seemed like a no-brainer for me. I don't know why they never called. You know what? I'm going to live and learn about the whole thing. I'm not going to hold a grudge.
The big man is all I'm saying. Takes a big man.
So you became a Galaxy fan like right when they won all of their championships. How does it feel to root for a really good team?
Well, they didn't win then. They didn't really win for a couple seasons after that. Like, they were actually not so great. That was when David Beckham was going on loans out to Italy for some reason. Do you remember all that? And then he would get hurt.
Because he still wanted to play for England.
Yeah, he was still living that pipe dream for whatever reason. And they weren't doing so hot, like they weren't getting along with each other and all that jazz. So I started with a team that was like a team in disarray, and then it turned around, which was nice, and then they won 2 MLS Cups, which was also very nice, and that felt good. And now they're back to being terrible, I guess. I don't know what's going on right now.
But don't they do this at the beginning of every year a little bit?
Yeah, they do, and it's frustrating. They start so many seasons so slow that it makes me wonder, like, are they not doing preseason right? Like, are people not training? Like, what is going on that they start every year looking slow, looking just dumb? They just look dumb, and I don't get why.
I think it might be part of Bruce's coaching strategy where he wants to have kind of a bad news bear situation going on every single year, and you need to go through that rough patch. And you get the montage to that.
That's funny. I almost had the opposite theory. I thought it was just too much swagger. Like, we don't even need to deal with the first third of the season. We'll just come roaring in after that, and everything will be fine. Don't worry about it.
I also think it might have something to do with the fact they're in Southern California. It's like, let's go to the beach. Like they're just hanging out all the time.
Yeah, because the beginning of the season is right in the spring when it's like perfect outside. Let's not do anything. We just chill at the beach weather, and then it gets really hot. And then you're like, well, we might as well play soccer.
Exactly. It hasn't hit like 100 degrees in LA yet. That's going to take a little bit, and once that happens, they'll say, I guess I have to do my job that they pay me millions of dollars to do. Well, how about you guys? What teams are you all collectively supporting?
I like your historical rival, DC United. If you
classic
didn't know,
team.
Yeah, if you didn't, I don't know how much of the history you're into, but we used to be enemies. We used to hate each other way back when.
And you have 4 MLS Cups to your name.
That's right. All of them before 2005.
That's true. But you still have 4. Bruce Arena, coach there. Like, it's good.
Yeah.
So despite the fact that Ian is our youngest member, he's also our longest MLS follower. He's been following the league since he was since he was 6 years old, and so he's definitely got the historical facts and memories ready to go.
Literally from day one.
I have just in this moment decided to start saying that DC has won 4 MLS 1.0 cups. That's the decision I was just come to. Ian, I apologize, but it's going to stick.
That's harsh.
No, 2 of them were in 2.0 because we won them after you guys opened your stadium. That's when everybody
I don't know.
collectively decided we were in 2.0, maybe.
That was it. That's all it took. I'm a Crew fan, to answer some more of your question. We're going to do this very slowly and just let the story unravel as we go along.
Excellent. Well, you have a new owner. There's hope over there in Columbus.
There is some hope.
New owner, new coach.
We get a striker soon, and that's and we feel good about the team. We think we feel good about Bearhalter's system there. We'll see what happens when we get a few more pieces in place, but things are looking good.
Yeah, it's looking like you're getting back to the glory days from the outside, like you did.
Indeed. Well, thank you. That's very kind words.
I'm out here in Seattle, and I'm a Sounders supporter.
Excellent.
Yep. So I was
Open Cups.
got a couple of U.S. Open Cups. We went to 4 finals and won 3 of them, and had a draw on the 4th. So
No, you lost.
No, that historically goes down on the sheet as a draw. It's
Shut up. You lost.
We did lose.
Deal with it.
We lost, but it was a draw, so that's how we're gonna call it. And our 2 missing members tonight who are unable to attend, we've got Josh, who's actually out here in Seattle, but is a Portland supporter, so he has a fun one. And Dennis is up in Toronto, so we've got a TFC fan.
Oh, really?
I got some good diversity on the podcast.
Tapestry.
I was in the Pacific Northwest last fall. It was like last October, and I was able to actually see a Sounders game at CenturyLink Field. It was one of those games that the whole thing was open, so there were 60,000 plus there. It's something else. Like you guys you're doing something very, very interesting up there in Seattle. I didn't have a chance to see a Timbers game because obviously there wasn't one being played at that particular time. I was able to walk by their stadium. It looked nice. I didn't get to see them actually play there. But yeah, it's the CenturyLink Field full of soccer fans. It was pretty cool. So,
it was great, and on top of it. Honestly, for me, like I guess maybe I'm a little bit jaded getting to see that that 65,000 a couple of times a year, but more important than that for me last year was the U.S. national game against Panama. That was incredible.
That must
seeing that same stadium, filled with red, white, and blue it was pretty spectacular.
That must have been something else.
That boom clap in the 80th minute was so cool.
Oh God, it was great, wasn't it?
Does the whole stadium do that every time?
Not like that. We do it to bring the players on at the beginning of the game, and very rarely does it get done late like that. Like that would be like a dominating win over Portland at home or some. It's very rare to do.
I noticed you guys only do it during like big wins. So
yeah, and honestly, that's my favorite part when we open the stadium is anything that involves the entire crowd because the ECS is strong. You've got a good 2,000 or 3,000 people that are in unison singing, chanting, but those 65,000 people stadium, when it's open all the way, anything that involves the whole crowd, like boom, boom, clap, or any of the echo chants, like hearing the response come back from so many people, because I sit with the ECS, it just gives you chills. Like it's crazy to hear that many people in unison just echoing around the bowl. It's pretty nuts.
All right.
Now that we've made this about me,
great.
That is that's our interview with Punk Rock Pete there. No.
Thanks for having me.
Let's go ahead and start wrapping it up. But Jeff, we're definitely looking forward to the second video. We hope that you are able to accomplish.
It's gonna be a tough one, but hopefully there'll be another one.
Seeing you on TV in the future. Maybe we'll see you.
Do you need to plug anything? Can we give you our bump here?
Oh, the infamous podcast bump.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I should have been better prepared. Well, if the theoretical second video exists, I need everybody to retweet and put it on Reddit and upvote and do everything, because I want MLS to be forced to respond in some fashion.
We're all on board, though.
So basically, you're saying if your next video doesn't get 20,000 upvotes, you're going to be disappointed in us.
You know, I'm just going to go ahead and say those weren't my words, but I'm not going to stop them from happening.
So plug us here. Give us your Twitter, YouTube, whatever it is that people can find you at.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Twitter is @JeffIsFamous. Everyone should follow me if they're not already doing so. I don't know why. It's good for your health. YouTube is just Respectability Films. Not only is that where those weird MLS videos are, that's where you'll see me put my sketch videos up there, my weird live comedy stuff. That's where all that stuff goes. So follow those two things. Make it happen, and then hopefully I can do a job that's just me making other people laugh instead of working in sales.
There it is, guys. Make it happen.
Well, Jeff, thanks for joining us. Go get some sleep, buddy.
Oh, God. Can you tell?
All right, we'll call
Thank
that.
you for having me, guys. Really appreciate it. If there's anything else that I can do for you, tell someone else because I'm very busy, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
We'll when this episode goes live, we're gonna tweet from the podcast.